The substitution x is 2 sine theta shows that given integral is equal to this expression where a and b are constants whose values you are required to find. Since it is given what substitution should be used, so we start with the substitution. So we write that integral 4 minus x squared dx is x is 2 times sine of theta. So the next dx over d theta is just 2 times cosine of theta, hence d theta, we need dx is 2 times cosine of x d theta. Hence our integral becomes integral root of 4 minus 4 sine squared of theta, and dx it's 2 cos of theta d theta, and we can factor out 4 here, but since it's square root it becomes 2, so it's 2 and a root of 1 minus sine squared, which is cosine squared, and the root, so it's just 2 cosine of theta and multiplied by 2 cosine of theta, so it becomes 2 squared cosine squared d theta, and it becomes 4. And how to integrate cosine squared? We should use double angle formula. It is given in data booklet, and it says that cosine squared is 1 plus cosine of 2 theta divided by 2 d theta. So finally it becomes 4 over 2. It's 2 integral d theta plus what? 4 over 2. It's 2 integral cosine of 2 theta d theta, which is 2 theta, and plus how to integrate cosine of 2 theta. In general, it should be used substitution, use 2 theta and actually do the same, but we can use the property that it's a function of usual cosine, but of ax plus b. So if it's a function of ax plus b, we use the same formula as in the data booklet, but 1 over a arises for integration. So it becomes these two and 1 over a, so 1 over 2, and integral of cosine is just sine, and definitely we keep the same argument, and plus some constant, and it becomes 2 theta plus just sine of 2 theta and plus constant. And now, and it's actually the main problem of such type of problems, to represent sine or some functions of theta in terms of x, because usually we use substitution is theta or u is something in terms of x, and then we get something in terms of u, and just we write expression for u. But here we should solve for theta, and then we need to find sine of 2 theta from this. So how to do that? Definitely, if x is 2 times sine of theta, x over 2 is sine of theta and sine of theta. So theta is arcsine of x over 2. Just applying inverse function or applying arcsine on both sides. Arcsine of sine, it's just argument theta. And how to find sine of 2 theta? Since sine of theta is x over 2, yes. What is sine of 2 theta? Sine of 2 theta is 2 sine times cosine, and we need cosine. So we can use main trigonometric identity, sine squared plus cosine squared is 1 to find cosine for given sine, or we can use this technique with right angle triangle. So if sine of some angle theta, let this angle be theta, is x over 2, sine its ratio opposite over hypotenuse. So we can consider this side to be x over 2, hypotenuse 1, or it will be more useful it to be x and hypotenuse to be 2. We need a ratio to be x over 2. We can take absolutely any values. And then we find this side using the Pythagoras theorem. So it becomes square root of what? 4 minus x squared. And then cosine is just root 4 minus x squared divided by 2. And in general, if you have sine, cosine, or tangent is equal to some value, you take this value by absolute, take positive, and you find other functions also to be positive, but then you should put a sign according to the quadrant of our angle. We consider right angle triangle and we consider just acute angles, but finally you put sign according to the quadrant. But here, when you solve differential equation or for integration, it is suggested that it's the first quadrant, so it's positive if it's not given other. And definitely when you use the main trigonometric identity, cosine becomes plus minus square root over 1 minus sine squared, and you should choose a sign according to the quadrant. So finally sine of 2 theta becomes 2 sine theta, which is x over 2 times cosine, and cosine is this root 4 minus x squared over 2, and it becomes what? X root 4 minus x squared over 2. So our integral becomes 2 theta 2 sine of x over 2 plus sine of 2 theta, which is x root 4 minus x squared over 2, and plus constant. And let's check. So ax root, yes. So we can see that a is a half, and b, what is b? B, it's in front of our sine, it's 2. And that's all for this question.